Perfect transition, Rio. Let's talk about it. The New York Giants were in action on Saturday, preseason week 1. They fall to the Minnesota Vikings 13-10. Jackson Dart did get some burn early on, only 4 attempts. But with that limited burn came another trip to the Blue 10. We've talked about it extensively on here. Jackson Dart, very promising, but the one big concern with him is his ability to stay healthy, the way that he plays, his play style. And right off the bat, to kick off the 2026 season, he's getting examined on the sideline in preseason week 1. KB, your reaction when you saw in the first preseason game, in what was very limited snaps for Jackson Dart, there he is yet again in the Blue 10.
Yeah. It doesn't, okay, if you look at the hit initially, it was Tyrone Tracy completely whiffing on a pass block, and Jackson Dart got laid out, right? And it looks bad. When you watch it, you're like, ooh, my God, wow, he took a bad hit there. But we see that almost every single week in the NFL. You don't see the refs mandate the quarterback to come out the game into the Blue 10 for hits like that. Yeah, do we all kind of cringe at it? We kind of wince and be like, oh, that was a nasty hit. We don't see the starting quarterback get taken out the game to go in the Blue 10. It's like something that they're pushing. I think they're trying. I don't know if they're trying to teach Jackson Dart a lesson or whatever to stop being so reckless as a quarterback, because it's going to start a trend. That I have no idea what the NFL is doing with Jackson Dart, but it doesn't make any sense. You're seeing it all on Twitter where it's like, that was a hit that warranted being in the Blue 10. We see those type of hits every single week. We don't see a starting quarterback have to take plays off, whether it's 2 or 3 plays, take those plays off and get put in the Blue 10. And now it's establishing a lot of like bad narratives around Jackson Dart, that how injury prone he is and concussion. He's got 5, like Stephen A. Smith, 5 concussions or something like that. He's had 1 concussion. And it wasn't even one that he had to go into the Blue 10 for. They cleared him from concussion protocol when he actually had a concussion. So the way they're going about this is so weird. I have no idea why they're targeting Jackson Dart specifically, but it's making him out to be a lot more reckless than he actually is, because he's really not. But it is weird. And I don't think it's that much of a big deal. He didn't throw himself at anybody. He didn't even run the ball. The entire time he snapped the ball in that game. So I don't know. It's a weird look from the NFL why they're targeting him, but yeah, it is every time they put him in the Blue 10, he passes concussion protocol, by the way, guys. He's never had a concussion being put in the Blue 10. Just saying.
You don't gotta prove nothing to us.
No, not you guys. I'm just saying the general audience, because you see on Twitter, as soon as it happened, there goes Jackson Dart again, reckless Jackson Dart. He got laid out.
Yeah, he got
from a bad pass block, and now it's his fault.
Evil.
I don't know.
Brian Flores
y'all
is
all
evil.
worked up over your quarterback.
Oh, and Brian Flores too, bro.
August
Listen,
18th, both of y'all all hot-pitched about the quarterbacks.
Hey, I know Brian Flores hates the Giants because of what happened in the past, and he goes hard at us like that. He completely shut down Jackson Dart last year in the regular season. It was bad. But it's a preseason game, the first preseason game, and you're showing disguised looks. You're sending double corner blitzes and safety blitzes and all these different looks. And what happened to just basic old cover 2, cover 3? Back in the preseason, we're playing vanilla defenses and we're just having fun out there, and trying to see what our backups can do. It looks like Brian Flores is trying to win the game. It's so weird.
Beyond the Blue 10 visit for Jackson Dart, KB, what should we know from what we saw on Saturday from the Giants in their first preseason game?
What we saw by the starting offense, I liked what we had. Cam Scouty was running the ball really good, really well again. Coming off of his injury, I thought he was going to struggle a bit. He looked just fine. He's not going to be as aggressive in the preseason as he usually is. It looks like he kind of let things slide and take it to the boundary and go out of bounds. But, in a regular season game, I feel like he would have gave it his all. I think he had 4.8 yards per carry or somewhere around there. So he looked pretty good. So the running game was fine. It wasn't anything special. It definitely needs a lot of work. I feel like the offensive line was fine. And then Jackson Dart establishing that connection with Malachi Fields, doing exactly what Malachi Fields was drafted to do, is to be that big body threat, something the Giants haven't had since Plaxico Burress, Hakeem Nicks days. They've been looking for years for a player like that, and it's perfect timing because of the type of play style that Jackson Dart has, where he has a lot of trust in himself. He has a lot of trust in his receivers. So if you get a guy like Malachi Field, it's going to be nothing but magic. On the defensive side of the football, they've got a lot of issues, but I'm really excited about Arvell Reese, man. He's flying all over the field. Obviously, they haven't used him to his max potential in the first preseason game. They kind of had him a little bit more passive, just playing the off-ball linebacker. But I know they're going to mix him around, put him in different spots, and he's going to look really good. I had a lot of people, talking on Twitter saying how stiff he looks. I thought he looked fine out there. His first preseason game, I thought he looked great. And I think the defense is going to be a lot better than even Giants fans think they're going to be. Yeah, we got some problems against the run, but I think our pass defense is pretty decent.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we were on the screen to give a shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. There we are. Speaking of Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app, and it's an app that's really easy to use. For player picks, just pick more or less on a few player stats, lock in your lineup, and you'll be good to go. And if you'd rather pick teams, you can do that now on Prize Picks too. Just pick the winner, spread, or total on any game, and you'll be ready to rock. Prize Picks also available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. And right now, we have a brand new offer for new users on Prize Picks. So you sign up via the link in the description below using the code HMA. Once you sign up using that promo code HMA and you play your first $5 and win, you'll get $150 in lineups. Once again, link in the description below. Click that. New users sign up for Prize Picks using the promo code HMA. When you play your first $5 and win, you'll get $150 in lineups. Promo code HMA, link in the description below. Check out Prize. And once again, wouldn't it be nice if we were on screen to give a shout out to our friends at RotoWire? RotoWire will be using them all season long with all their incredible premium tools. From fantasy to betting, they have you covered for anything you can think of when it comes to the NFL, and not just the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and everything in between. It's all at your fingertips with a RotoWire premium subscription. Link in the description below. Click that. Sign up for RotoWire using the promo code RTS. That will get you 25% off your first month as a premium member. Once again, RTS, the promo code RotoWire. That gets you 25% off your first month as a premium member with RotoWire. That was the Giants this past weekend. Looking forward to watching them this upcoming year. There's just a lot going on with that team. And
are you looking forward to
I really
watching
am.
them,
I actually can't lie. I really am. That Sunday nighter, I think it's going to tell us a lot. Win, lose, or draw, the hype around this Giants team. I live down in the area. It's as high as it's been probably since I was in middle school. And I think we're going to learn a lot that night.
Stuff about to carry over, man. They really think it's going to carry over. Now, clearly you saw that Jackson Dart had problems with Brian Flores' defense. Well, fun fact, the Dallas Cowboys got the defensive line coach from the Vikings to come over.
I got a fun fact too. We got Flores' right-hand man from that defense,
exactly.
Jones.
So if I'm Christian Parker, I'm licking my chops. I'm like, this kid cannot read any disguised fronts. I mean, he dropped back 4 times and got sacked twice. I mean, he got outplayed by Carson Wentz. D-Bot, you're not looking forward for the Giants this season. We can keep it real. Ain't nobody looking forward for the Giants this year besides Kid Blue. And they calling you Kid Blue Tent in the chat because your quarterback cannot. because your
you know what? That's funny. That's funny.
Chaotic, man. That is who he's always been going back to in college or at USC. He is high collision, high chaos, doesn't like to slide. He's a free-willing playing quarterback with a free spirit. And at the NFL level, you might get the paint peeled off you, as we saw in the first preseason game.
Shout out Mega Jackson.
Yeah, blue tent is great.
Yeah, that's
if they throw him in the blue tent again in this next preseason game, it's like
they gotta check him out.
And then go to the podium and like calls it a conspiracy theory.
They knocked the Sonic rings out that boy, man.
Dart was at the podium acting like, man, I don't even know what the deal is with this blue. Like, bro, you're out there getting thrown around, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
On that topic, by the way, Door Gunner saying we don't see hits like that on QBs. His head did snap back and he laid there for a bit. They will lean towards caution on those, which they should. He also said Dart looked like he got Thanos snapped to the shadow realm. Also adding, get used to that defense, KB. Commanders.
Oh
God,
Jay, just like my guy Big Dash said in the chat, the right hand man of Flores ain't Flores, so we'll see what happens. And the defensive line coach from Flores ain't Flores either, so I don't even know where that comes from.
Simone, you said what?
Sounds good.
Who said Kid Blue Tent?
Yeah, who did say Kid Blue Tent in the chat? Who?
Jay Tuck, I bet Jay Tuck made it up. Jay Tuck made it up off the dome.
3 he said it. I think he said it.
One of J Tuck's burners. He's got like 7 guys.
One of his burners.
Yeah.
He's KD
Oh, speaking of J Tuck's burners, I think he's used 1 or 2 in his day to talk about these Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk about them right now. They took on the Baltimore Ravens this past weekend. No starters here for Simone. I don't know how much we can take away from their 24-7 loss to Baltimore in the preseason, but if anything, what stood out for you on the Eagles end of things? What do we need to know from preseason week 1?
So it was actually a good amount of takeaways. Obviously, no starters, but we learning a lot about our depth. Linebacker depth looks great. Obviously, Nakobe Dean, we let him walk this offseason, so it's good to see Jeremiah Trotter Jr. really get out there, wreck some G. I mean, we already knew Jeremiah Trotter was going to, take that next step, but it was really good to see. Offensive line depth looked really good. Like, y'all heard me say it a few times on the show, how, we need that depth on the offensive line to be shored up. And guys like our rookie Markel Bell, who has been looking really good at camp, that carried over into the preseason game. Obviously, this is somebody we're hoping can be Lane Johnson's successor. And then also Willie Lampkin, undrafted guy last year with the Rams, got hurt. We picked him up, basically sat all last season, just rehabbing. Came out at camp, looked great, center. Very undersized guy, under 6 foot, like 5'11". He's been having a great camp, and then that translated over to the preseason game. So the offensive line depth looks great. That was like a big thing for me this offseason. And then the linebacker depth looks great as well. Now, the depth in some other areas, a little. Secondary, left some stuff on the bone, a little more to be desired there. Again, it was all of our backups, but as y'all know, like at any given time, any of these guys' number, could be called. You know what I'm saying? Q gonna need a break. You know what I'm saying? Coop gonna need a little break. Secondary depth, quarterback. Quarterback 2 battle is shaky. Obviously, hopefully we never have to see our quarterback 2. But nobody will be calling for Tanner McKee to come in. Nobody will be calling for Andy Dalton to come in based off what we saw in that game. So definitely have to figure out what we're doing as far as our backup. Secondary looking a little shaky when it comes to the depth in that room, but still a lot of great bright spots when it comes to like the linebacker room, the offensive line, which is very important. Like that offensive line depth, very important, and that looked very good. But yeah, I mean, we didn't have any starters, and it's hard to tell with Sean Mannion too because of what we had on the field. Like it's hard to tell, like what was him, what was the personnel. But guys were trying out for spots, and it didn't look like a lot of guys wanted to be at the tryouts at that game.
You skipped a guy in your backup quarterback, or I think is going to win the job.
Cole Payton.
Cole Payton. The only reason why I didn't mention Cole is just because he's still in that competition, but they've said clearly that it's Andy Dalton, Tanner McKee going after
okay.
Too. But Cole Payton just hasn't gotten that many reps at practice, so he's just like further behind. But obviously,
was he undrafted or did you guys draft him?
We drafted him.
Okay, yeah, because
so
he'll take off
behind as far as like practice reps, and he wasn't in the original equation as quarterback 2. But now it's like, child, it'll like anybody's job.
Simone said nobody's going to be calling for Tanner McKee and Andy Dalton to play for the Eagles. I just immediately thought of J-Tuck. I said, if there's one person, it's going to be him. Although he does seem to like when Jalen Hurts is out there.
Hey, man, you got to complete the cycle, man. Hurts replaced the North Dakota
secondary. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to really worry. So,
hey, you got to complete the Eagle cycle, bro. Hurts replaced the North Dakota State quarterback. A North Dakota State got to replace him, man.
And you want to know who Cole Payton's comp was coming out in the draft?
Who's that? Carson Wentz.
Hurts.
Oh, Jalen Hurts. Oh man. Hey.
Why not? Why not? Well, hey, speaking of Jay Tuck, yeah, Simone got a kick out of that one. You know, they're just doing it right over there, I guess, over in Philadelphia.
Well,
they're trying to get the success.
Carson Wentz outplayed Jackson Dart, man. So maybe it's something like that.
Wait, what happened?
Jackson Dart. Yeah,
Carson Wentz outplayed Jackson Dart, so maybe it's something.
Wait, where's Carson?
They
Wentz?
weren't on the field at the same time. Carson Wentz was going up against third stringers. What are we talking about?
Who looked better? Who looked better?
Huh?
He plays for the
Carson Wentz was going against third stringers. What do you mean who looked better? What are we talking about? Carson Wentz played in the third and fourth quarter. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Jackson Dart came for 2 drives and threw a touchdown. What are we talking about? He threw 4 passes and got a touchdown. What are we talking about? And that was the first play he came back from getting thrown in the tent.
You saw the loop-de-loops. Like, hey,
First
man,
of all, you should be glad that they are trying to protect your quarterback. Like, why are you mad?
Yeah.
You know why? You know why this is a problem? Because when it's crunch time, like we saw last year, where Jackson Dart is in the red zone, he gets hit and it looks bad to the refs.
Yeah.
They throw him in the tent, and Jameis Winston has to come out and throw a pick for us in the red zone. Like, we don't want to see that. Remember what happened? The same thing happened. I forgot what game it was. I forgot who we were going up against. Russell Wilson comes in and just completely kills our drive. You know? So that's why it's concerning. Having my starting quarterback take plays off from in very crucial plays, especially if we're in the red zone trying to score in a very close game. I don't want my quarterback in the tent for some BS. He might be concussed. No. They are like 0 for 15 for concussion protocols.
Hurts don't have to go through that. So it's just something with your quarterback, KB.
My guy got knocked out a few games last year, but the concussion tent was not the place he was frequenting, though.
If somebody could come up to me and give me a logical explanation of why the NFL is like 0 and 10 for concussion protocols for Jackson Dart, but still keep putting him in the blue tent, you guys can let me know.
And maybe I got
because he hasn't had one.
Maybe I got a little bribe. Like, yeah, go ahead and look the other way on that concussion, bro. His head's intact, bro. Go ahead. You ain't see nothing.
Oh man.
It's just preseason.
Hey, listen, I do know. This is KB's like Christmas.
This is my time.
Yeah, it is.
It's my time to shine. Giants fans' best times is hopes and dreams. So, you know.
May only be preseason, but the end of the postseason, there was one team remaining. It was the Seattle Seahawks. The Dallas Cowboys just beat them down. I don't know if there's any correlation there, Jay Tuck, but the Super Bowl champs are back home. The Dallas Cowboys go out to Seattle preseason week 1 and take it to them 17-7 the final. Joe Milton with a nice day for the Cowboys. 12 of 15, 107 yards and a touchdown. Big takeaways, Jay Tuck, from what we saw from the Dallas Cowboys in preseason week 1.
Well, you know, last week the Dallas Cowboys beat up on the Super Bowl favorites and the Rams in this scrimmage, and then we went to Seattle and beat up on the Super Bowl champions. And right now, as we speak, we're punching on the Saints. We probably had 5 fights today as broken out versus our scrimmage versus the Saints, and we whooping those boys' ass out there. But the Dallas Cowboys, even though our starters didn't play, which I personally don't like, I'm a fan of actual starters getting some reps. We got to see a lot of the question marks that we've been asking. Okay, our young cornerback in Siobhan Revel coming off a knee injury, he looked good for the solid reps that he got. We got to see a little splash of Caleb Downs, right? It wasn't just one series of Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence, but the man who stole the show is downtown Camden Brown. I know everyone was sitting in front of their TV like, who the hell is this wide receiver going crazy out here in this Dallas Cowboys preseason game? A guy out of Georgia Southern who's an undrafted guy. He has been making the most out of every opportunity. I know a lot of people saw the big catch he had in traffic or the one-headed catch he had down the goal line, but he's been doing this all camp. So we're having a strong conversation like, he is going to make this roster and force one of these wide receivers out of there. We also got to see our tight end, who I'm extremely excited about, and Michael Trigg. Michael Trigg's an undrafted tight end out of Baylor, And man, he's phenomenal. He can definitely be one of those ones. Play wide receiver primarily at Baylor, so he has all the catching ability. But they're working on him as a tight end, doing some of the blocking, the fundamental stuff. So you got to see that on display. And then the number one question that a lot of Cowboys fans have is the RB2. Who will win that job? You know, you had Jadon Blue. He got the start. Looked okay. And we saw the screenplay with Jadon Blue. But then you got Phil Maffa, who came out of Clemson. You know, he got some yardage, but he's still more your upright, bigger back, kind of like Najee Harris. But then you have Malik Davis, who was an undrafted guy out of the University of Florida, who's been around the league for quite some time. He always is ready when his name is called. And then we also have a sneaky good guy in Israel Benaconda, who was a workhorse out of Pitt. So the RB2 job is going to be up for grabs. I still feel the Dallas Cowboys might go make a move. And then, like you were saying, Z-Bot, the number one thing a lot of people are also looking at is the quarterback 2 competition. And, you know, I thought that Sam Howell might be the safest one, but Joe Milton looked pretty damn good on Saturday. So it's going to be a back and forth battle on who actually wins that job. I think Sam Howell is the safer, more conservative pick, but Joe Milton gives you the biggest upside because with that arm talent and those legs, like you could do a lot with that. So we'll see how that all unfolds. My biggest concern offensively was the second layer of the offensive line. Unlike Simone, I don't like our offensive line depth, so we'll have to see how that all unfolds. Defensively, secondary looked good. Defensive interior looked well. You know, we only got to see our pass rusher Malachi Lawrence for a few snaps, so not too much. So you had Maris Leofow, who's been moved to outside linebacker, Justin Barron, middle linebacker. So overall, good display from the Dallas Cowboys. I'm liking what I saw. You know, Christian Parker made some adjustments after that first series, and our defense really rallied in. They played tough. They played hard, even though it was the backups. But these kids are fighting for a job. It's a chance of a lifetime. And a lot of them, like Camden Brown and Michael Trigg, they showed up and showed out. So Dallas Cowboys, they locked in right now.
Cowboys locked in. The NFC East Roundtable is locked in. Preseason week 1 in the books. We just recapped, and next week we'll recap week 2.